If you have young children, listen up. You'd be surprised by how many parents are eligible for state help to pay for childcare. You can make up to $90,000 a year and still be eligible. And you don't even have to use traditional daycare. You can have a neighbor or friend or family member get approved to watch the kids at your home, and the state will pay for that. We explain how on today's Story of the Day.
Support for Story of the Day comes from Clarkson University, offering over 95 programs of study with campuses in the Hudson Valley, Central, and Northern New York. More at clarkson.edu.
Hey, I'm David Summerstein. It's Friday, July 28th. We have a fun outdoor bonus story coming up, so let's get right to childcare. The North Country is considered a childcare desert, which means there are many more children than spots in childcare centers or home daycares. And because there are so few spots, this option I was referring to at the top of the show is becoming more popular. It's called legally exempt childcare. Basically, a friend or a neighbor or a family member can be approved to watch your children in your home and get paid for it. Amy Feiereisel reports on how it works.
About 2 years ago, Heather Vincent was looking for part-time work in Carthage, where she lives. She had just retired from the military. She was stationed at Fort Drum after 15 years working as an Army mechanic. But Vincent has 6 school-aged kids, so she needed something flexible, something that would let her get the kids to school in the morning and meet them in the afternoon.
So I was like, okay, husband's, working full time. I'm staying at home because obviously childcare is ridiculously expensive, and to have 6 kids in childcare is pretty much an entire paycheck if I was to go to work.
At the time, Vincent was coaching a sports team her own kids were on, and one of the other moms approached her. She was looking for someone to care for her youngest daughters during the school day and to watch her older daughters when they got out of school. She asked Vincent, "Will you do it?"
And I was like, this would be perfect. It gives me an opportunity to make money, but then still be able to, do what I need to do for my kids. I'd be able to get off work and plenty of time to bring them to all their sports, but then also, be home for dinner and not worry about, hey, what shift can I take because, my husband, works his shifts and that kind of stuff.
Vincent said yes and went through a background check. That's required to become a legally exempt child care provider. That's a state program that pays people to care for a family's children. In this case, this woman's family. Conveniently, they live right around the corner from Vincent. She's been taking care of those kids for almost 2 years now. She says she's forged a really special relationship.
I'm very close to, the family, the kids. And instead of me being called Miss Heather, they actually call me Auntie Heather now because we built that bond. I was blessed that their mama actually asked me to be the godmother of the infant.
Vincent says that it also works well financially. Both of the parents are able to work full-time.
They can go to work. They can make income to be able to support their household.
And the state pays for the vast majority of Vincent's salary through the Child Care Assistance Program. That program has seen a lot of change in just the last few years, including increased reimbursement rates for providers. When Vincent started in 2021, she was making around $1,400 a month to watch the kids. The new rates brought her up to $2,000 a month. That makes a big difference to their family of 8, says Vincent.
It was a huge increase. The jump has been, we've been able to level a lot more things out, and then we have 3 that are in competitive rec cheerleading. So it's been able to alleviate a lot of the stress of, okay, where's this money going to come from this month to, pay for this fundraiser? Or, where's the money going to come from for uniforms this month or that kind of stuff.
According to the Jefferson Lewis Child Care Project, more people, just like Vincent and the family she cares for, have been going through the legally exempt child care process in the past few years. That's because A, there isn't enough space in local centers and daycares, but B, more families are eligible for child care assistance. For example, a family of 4 that makes less than $90,000 a year now qualifies. In 2019, they had to make less than $55,000. Childcare advocates say many families don't even realize that the neighbor or mother-in-law or friend that is watching their kids right now could be getting paid to do so by the state. Amy Feiereisel, North Country Public Radio.
Bonus story. If you're looking for a perfect short hike anywhere in the Adirondacks, I highly recommend the Adirondack Mountain Club's Kids on the Trail, even if you don't have children. The second edition was published in 2020. The authors, Rose Rivesi and David Trithart, are grandparents now. I went out on a hike with their whole family to talk about this new edition and also the first one from the 1990s.
All right.
You want to say something in the microphone, Alice?
Can you say hello? Hello, hello.
I meet the family at Stone Valley in Colton, a popular trail on the Racket River that's in the book. And right away, 2-year-old Alice wobbles over to a patch of touch-me-nots.
You want to touch the touch-me-not?
Touch-me-not.
Her dad, Will Trithart, bends down and helps Alice pop a delicate pod. Her eyes open wide and she squeals with delight.
Oh, what's happening?
What's happening?
Mom.
So that's one thing you learn about hiking with kids. You take your time.
That's Rose Rivesi, Alice's grandmother and co-author of Kids on the Trail with her husband, David Trithart.
You observe, and you let them observe and lead you to what the event will be for the next half hour.
Hi.
Want to hold Noni's hand?
We amble into the woods. Rose and David were 39 and 49 and working full-time when they wrote the first edition of Kids on the Trail in 1997.
We are not crazy hikers. Like, we don't hike all the time. It's not what we always do as a family. But being outdoors has always been a part of our family and what we do.
And so over one spring, summer, and fall, they scouted out 62 hikes geared towards families. Alice's dad, Will, was 7 years old at the time. His older brother, 9.
I remember lots of what seems like endless drives, and which actually was probably like 45 minutes. Lots of peanut butter on apples, lots of M&Ms, good views, fun scrambles.
Rose says it gave the family a chance to explore the whole Adirondack Park.
I mean, we would never go hike down around Lake George area or some of the eastern Adirondacks. But having a reason to go, it was great to discover other parts of our park. They really aren't that far away.
That sense of exploration was baked into Kids on the Trail. Kids could earn a cute patch by doing hikes in every region of the Adirondacks. And the patch challenge is still part of this second edition.
Noni's going to catch you. Noni's going to catch you. Are you hugging the tree?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you just kissed the tree.
Alice moves on from the tree. Grandfather David picks a mushroom and holds it up to her.
What is that?
Look at the other side.
Mushroom.
Yeah.
The second edition of Kids on the Trail has 30 new trails. Some are new ones built over the last 2 decades. David says it also cuts out some others that have become overgrown from lack of use.
We also took out some trails in the High Peaks area because that area is just getting overused. And so part of what we'd like to accomplish with the book is to help inform people about how many great trails there are in the rest of the Adirondacks. You don't have to go to Mount Marcy, every time or that vicinity.
But what the new edition preserves is great tips for getting young and older children hooked on hiking. For example, snacking and treats are key.
Little rewards along the way sometimes.
Ice cream after the hike.
Take your time.
Don't push them too hard. Just keep the pace at something they're going to be comfortable with.
And know when to cut and run.
If they're having a bad day, don't push it. It's like maybe today's not the day to hike with them.
Are you adventuring, Alice?
We make it to a little flume in the river. Alice clambers over rocks and boulders, just having a blast. Another tip, have a cool destination.
And so you hike with that in mind. So David and I ruled out several hikes that were just too long and a bit monotonous. Like, there wasn't an end point you got to. There wasn't a summit. There wasn't a waterfall. There wasn't a cool big rock.
We all like those payoffs. And for sure, Kids on the Trail is a terrific guidebook for anyone looking for easy to moderate Adirondack hikes.
Bling, is a boo.
You gonna jump?
Wow.
Grandparents and Dad take turns helping Alice explore under glittering sunshine. They break out a snack and play and hang by the sparkling river. What better way to hook the next generation on the joys of the trail and a love for the Adirondacks? David Summerstein, North Country Public Radio on the Stone Valley Trail in Colton. The story first aired in 2020. Alice is entering first grade now. She has a little brother, Rocco. You can find photos and a link to the Kids on the Trail book at ncpr.org. We have more news all the time and through the weekend on our website, ncpr.org. Music today by Patricia Julian of Burlington and Dan Duggan of Lake Clear. I'm David Summerstein, North Country Public Radio.